Hi everybody, Susie here. I'm just another beauty guru over on YouTube. I'm going to put some makeup on while I talk to you for a bit. That's what we do. I'm probably going to use some Milani. Here, let's do it. Strobe light. I love this stuff. I love it. Probably going to use the NYX Wonder Snatch because if you got to wonder about someone's snatch, they might need to go to the clinic. Love the name. But today, no, seriously, I'm going to put some makeup on. I was just playing. Okay, it was a little inappropriate, but it was funny. Okay. Now I am running low on supplies, like my favorite, I'm out of my Sigma eye base. Oh, I did order some new eye base. I'm out of the Blur Unlock primer. Well, let's see if I can get just a little bit out of this. Let's see. I did. All right. So I got a little bit of primer. But the cool thing is we have saved enough money to go on our trip. So I was able to restock. Now, I wasn't able to restock on the Sigma eye base because it went from $10, and I don't know how I got so lucky to get it at $10 because I know every influencer was saying it was $30, and now it is $30. So I think I got a Wet n Wild primer, so I will be reviewing that for you. It better be good because else I wasted $5. Yeah, I went on the cheap because I wasn't trying to spend a whole grip of money. I've replaced this bottle, my LumiMatte foundation. I've replaced the NYX Professional Micro Brow Pencil because she is at the tip, all gone. I am replacing my mascara. It's on sale right now for $3.49 on Amazon. Go for it, 30% off. You can't beat a sale. Shit works all day. I've told you this before. And I got a face primer too, but I can't remember. Okay, the face primer was the Wet n Wild. The foundation I got was the Maybelline. I got the NYX, and there was something else I got that I was out. Oh yes, my eyeshadow base. And I can't remember what brand I got. But, oh, it was NYX. I got a NYX eyeshadow base, and it looked promising. So we'll see what happens. Yes. That's what I ordered today. It should be here by Saturday. So we are going to be back in business, people. Haven't been able to just come home and play with makeup because I'm out of the basics, and that bothers me. But it's all right because I don't know what's going on with this stuff, but this was just a sample, so anything I get out of it is really, really good to get. You know what I mean? Like, it's bonus because it was a freebie that I got around Christmas time. And it works really good, actually. I've used it, and it's lasted all day, and my eyeshadow, you've seen it. I posted a video the other day with my makeup still on from the entire day, and I just needed a little bit of powder touch up. But my eyeshadow was fire. If I do say so myself, it was pretty fire. So that being said, what do I want to do today? What colors do we want to do today? I've been doing warm tones with reds and golds. What do you think of that? Or should I do these cool tone blues and greens? What do you think of that? I've been loving this Mary Chrissy palette. I have been loving every single shimmer, every single matte. This is the Glaminatrix Mary Chrissy palette. You can get it on the Glaminatrix website. They do have a US warehouse. I do believe this is still available. And so you don't have to worry about shipping or tariffs. But what do we want to do? Because this is just a Stenosha palette, if you ask me. I just freaking love everything about it. And it's calling me, but the whole thing is calling me, and I can't do one eye one color and one eye the other. So I haven't done the blue in a minute. Let's do the blue. But my brushes aren't clean for that. Damn it. Susie, clean your brushes. Gotta clean my brushes. God damn it. Well, my brushes are clean for this, though. What is this? What is this? This is beautiful. I'm going to go in with some purple mattes from the Fantasy Cosmetica because I love this palette too much. Because look, I've already hit pan in that nice lavender shade. And I'm going to hit it again. So we're going to keep hitting pan on this because, and I know I've got other lavender shades and other palettes, but this formula from Fantasy Cosmetica is fire. And she blends so beautifully. And I've got crappy brushes, you know. I mean, this would take me no time at all if I had some good brushes. Remind me to save up for brushes, because I need some good ones like BK Beauty or Singe Beauty. Look how pretty that is. It just... And we are going to go in with those blues and greens and make this kind of a mermaid-esque look. But right now, I'm going to use the mattes that are the purple because that's what my brush has on it. And then after this, I'm going to wash my brushes because they need to be washed. Like, of all my brushes, I've got a lot, but there's like 3 or 4 that I like to use all the time. And they're not very good brushes. Like, look at, this is, don't laugh, but see how the paint's coming off and it's a wood handle? This is one of those, we don't talk about Bruno brushes, but it's an e.l.f. and it's a $2 brush. You know, and you know how I feel about e.l.f. right now. I'm really mad at them, but they already got my money on this, but look, it's already falling apart. But it's $2. You get what you pay for. And this I got in a box, an It's Ipsy box. It says Farrah on it. I don't know the brand. Be Beautiful, Be You. I don't know the brand, but it's a very good brush. This is a Blend Bunny, but it's kind of big, so I'll use it on the outer corner, and it's got the dark purple on it, so we're going to go with that right there. But it's a big blending brush. I want something smaller. See, they're kind of big, but I like this size right here. It's a little bit smaller. This is a really good for the crease, for blending, for everything. And I need like 4 of them, you know. But for $2, you get a good little brush out of that fucking company. I don't know if they're still $2 though. But also, these Blend Bunny ones aren't bad. I can't remember how much I paid. They were on sale. I want to say for like 5 of them, I got them for like $8 or $10 for like 5 brushes. And they all have this pinky white handle on them with this light pink ferrule. See the pinky ends. And they're not bad, but I've only got like 2 eye brushes, blending brushes. So they have to be cleaned quite regularly. And these clean up really well, and the brush, the hairs don't come out. Now, I don't know, they're probably synthetic. I wouldn't say they were real hairbrushes. I would definitely say they were synthetic. Okay, let me get my trusty little NYX glitter glue, because now we're going into the Glaminatrix. But yeah, my girlfriend just got a set of the BK Beauty, the Nikki LaRose ones, and she said they are phenomenal, that the makeup blends itself. And it's just like, man, I could be done so much quicker if I had better brushes. That being said, I could, you know, save up and get me some. But I really want to get that Rocky Horror Picture palette, that Rocky Horror palette from Wicked Widow Beauty. I want to get that Singe Beauty palette, but I gotta hold on to my money and spend it wisely. So I dropped about 40 bucks today on makeup, but I bought 5 different things. So that's about $8 a product. So I didn't do bad, you know. That's not bad at all. All right, what do I want to go into first? I'm going to this greeny purple one. Can you see the shift on it? Let's see, can you see it from here? It goes from green to purple, but it's hard to see with this light. All right, well, we're going in, and it comes out dark green right here. It's so pretty. Here we go. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Gorge. Love it. All right. Now I want a dark purpley to blue shade to go to the back side. Or am I going to get a dark purpley to blue shade? It's kind of a dark purpley to green shade. Hold on. Me and my shimmers, y'all. I'm pulling her out, my Radioactive. I've had her for a little over a year. I've hit pan on a couple of these, but these are gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm going to go in with this one. I think that's Isotope. Nope, that's Quantum. And if you can see it over here, it's purple. But if you see it there, it's blue. And that's exactly what I want. I want this purpley blue. Can you see it flip? See how blue it is? And it turns purple. Trust me when I say it turns purple. Oh, I love it. Yes. I love indie makeup. I love this, you guys. This brings me so much joy. What do you think? How's it looking? Oh yeah, I love that. Now I need a lighter. I just wanted that one color. Go back to the Mary Chrissy palette. Oh, my baby's crying out there because I didn't let him in. I don't know if you can hear him, but I didn't let them in the room today. They're so cute. They love me so much. They're not supposed to love me. They're supposed to love my husband. I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the center. I need something lighter in the center. Something I can put on top of that. Oh my God, look how I did that with practically no fallout. Ooh! That's amazing. Amazing. It's amazing, people. Just trust me when I say it's amazing, because I always have fallout. Let's go into this Death Tarot palette. Ooh. What do we think of these? Kind of like in this one here. For my very center. It's called Acceptance. Oh. I've had such a rough week. I definitely need some acceptance in my life today. No, that didn't lighten it up. But remember, what you do on one side, you got to do on the other. I don't know if you can see a difference in it. Try renewal. I'm just popping glitter on my eye, y'all. Let me be me. I'm enjoying myself. This is my thing. This is my jam. I like that. It looks pretty, pretty, pretty. My puppy's outside barking, but what he doesn't understand is it's beautiful out and he needs to enjoy the weather. So I'm letting him be outside for a little bit while I do this video. And he's got water and it's sunny and it's beautiful. It's almost 60 degrees outside. So he should be fine. And it's early afternoon. He shouldn't be bothering anybody. Everybody's at work except for me, because I get off early. I'll go in with a little bit more of that green again. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God damn, I love that color. Speaking of god damn, I'm sorry if I offended anybody with that. I know we just had Lent, or we just started Lent, and we just had Fat Tuesday. And so on Wednesday, you were supposed to go get your ashes on your forehead and stuff, you know, if you're a practicing Catholic. That's what you do. Well, we have a couple at work. I got a gal who wanted a fish option on the line. It was so cute. And another gal that was like there in the morning, and she goes, yeah, this is going to be my only meal today because I have to fast. It's what we sacrifice, you know, for the guy upstairs, because he sacrificed for us. Well, this lady come in and she goes, I told her how the other gal was fasting, and she goes, yeah, you know, we're supposed to sacrifice because he gave his life up and died on the cross for us. She goes, but it's so hard. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's like, this person got nailed to a cross and brutally, brutally beaten for days, left to die on a cross. He sacrificed for us. And all that he asks in return is that you fast one day, and that's too hard. I was just like, she says, I'm not as giving a person as he is. I just found that so funny. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? I was baptized Catholic when I was a baby, so it wasn't by choice. It was my father's choice. And he had sent us to the big cathedral in downtown LA to be baptized. And my mother used to take us to the Sunday morning mass when we were little. And I don't remember this because we were like 2 and 3 years old, and she'd dress us up and everything, and we'd all go down there. And she'd get really mad because she couldn't understand the sermon. And it wasn't because she was Caucasian and everybody in there was Hispanic. No, it was because nobody in there could understand the sermon because it was in Latin and not Spanish. And she finally said she'd had enough. When Daddy was too hungover to go and he kept making her go, she finally said, I'm not doing this. If you can't get your butt up to go, I'm not getting my butt up to go. I work all week too. But my daddy was a bit of a drinker when I was little. And he was also the party supplier, one of the party suppliers for like the biker gang, the big one. And another biker gang. And so that's a bit of my history, you know. It got him in trouble a lot. But that was when we were little. And then what happened was, I think it was in 1980, he got into, because he'd been in multiple accidents. He was in this one accident where he was on the back of the bike, and the guy that was driving it, he was, of course, driving it in front of him. Hello, Susie. That's why he was on the back of the bike. Yeah, right. Anyways, there was like 20 bikers going down the highway, and the guy in front of them got mad, as Daddy put it, at his bitch, and threw her off the bike. Well, the guy driving my daddy's bike went around to her legs and jumped over her legs. Well, the guy behind him tried to jump over her head and didn't come out so smooth, and he went like that into the side of my dad. Next thing you know, it was a huge motorcycle pileup, and they were on an overpass. Well, the spokes to the other bike chopped my daddy's leg off, like his foot, and so it was hung on by a tendon, and he was like hobbling on the stump of his leg to the side of the bridge to throw all the dope out because he didn't want to get busted with it. And then he got sent to the hospital. I don't remember which hospital it was, but my mom was really mad because she got the phone call at like 3 a.m. She had to come get Daddy. And she gets there, and the hospital would not see him. And he was sitting there with 2 clamps on the, holding his foot together to his leg. And they weren't going to treat him because he had the wrong insurance. And so she had to call, I think she had to call Kaiser Permanente, and they had to bring an ambulance to the hospital and pick up my dad. And they wouldn't release him until they got those 2 little plastic clamps off of his legs, because those were their plastic clamps. Like they're going to reuse them or something? That's gross. But anyways, they saved his foot. He didn't lose his foot. But he said that all the girls came running in saying, Larry, what'd you do with the dope? And he said, I threw it over the bridge. He said they ran out of there like bat out of hell going after that dope because he wasn't going to get busted, he said. I'm going to go into my NARS. Let's see if I can get enough, because this is an empty bottle. And I really like this foundation. Yeah, I get all of it out. I dig it out because this stuff's expensive. I know I got it on sale. I got it for like $37, but I don't really wear this too often unless it's in the evening, because I know I'm not going to wear it all day because it gets too oily on my face, because it's a radiant foundation, which is for people with dry skin, you know, and I didn't know that, but I wanted to try it out. I'm an oily girly, and it gets oily on me. But get this, get this. They are just now releasing, I think today, or no, tomorrow, a matte version of this Longwear foundation, and I am stoked. But they want $55, and I'm so stoked I'm going to get it on sale. You better believe it. When they say they got a 30% off sale, you're speaking my language, but I'm not spending $55 to try out a matte foundation. But I do love the ABH, and that one's $49. The Impeccable. It works wonders. Look at that. I was able to get enough foundation for my face. And this little sucker is empty. Look at, you can see the window there. You can see how empty it is, but I'm gonna get whatever I can out of this bottle, because I paid too much money to let it go to waste and scrape all the edges out, you know, because that's a lot of money. I'm not wasting it. Look at, it's on my hand. I'm not wasting it. I know I'm so stupid, right? That's all right. That's all right, because we save every penny we can. Waste not, want not. And my new foundation will be here on Saturday. Now I am going to have to splurge on my concealer, but right now I'm doing good on it. I gotta wet my sponge. Oh, she's using a dry sponge. Lord, no. Susie, what are you doing? Oh, gosh. I don't know. Just putting makeup on. But yeah, so my daddy got into that accident. Then there was another time I noticed he had this mark on his face right here. And I was looking at an old picture of him from the 60s, and there was no mark on his face. It was black and white, but there was no mark on his face. I said, Daddy, where'd you get that mark on your face? It's not here in the picture. That's an old picture, mija. It's faded. My mom goes, don't you dare lie to her. She was mad. She said, I know where you got that. I said, what happened? Well, after he had gotten into an accident, he was on crutches because he was in a cast. But that didn't stop him from going out and partying. And he went to the bar, and my cousin Keto was with him. And Keto was getting beat up by this guy. There was a couple of guys beating up on my cousin Keto. And so Daddy took his crutch and bashed one of the guys in the head. And then the guy's girlfriend took a pool cue and bashed Daddy in the eye. And Daddy said, no, that didn't happen. She says, I bailed you out of jail. Yes, it did. Don't you lie to her. Because I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time. But my daddy he was an alcoholic, you know, and just like I'm an addict. And, you know, that's a family thing. It definitely goes from family member to family member. But he quit partying all on his own when he got into an accident in 1981 or 1980. It was before MADD was formed, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And Daddy got into an accident. He was driving, and he was legally intoxicated. But they didn't have a breathalyzer back then. And his lawyer told him to say he wasn't drunk. But he had accidentally killed 2 people while he was drunk driving. there was an accident on this overpass that was already there. And this old man had fender bendered into this young man's car. And the young man had his son in the back seat. So the son was in the back seat watching his dad, who was between the two cars. And the old man was standing on the side of the bridge. And you couldn't see the accident because there was bushes in the way. So the last person to come up on that accident is going to be the one to blame, which happened to be my dad. And he couldn't see the accident from his point of view because of the trees. And he came up and the old man didn't put his parking brake on. So when he hit the old man's car, it squished the guy in between the two cars and killed him. And the impact of the two cars hitting each other knocked the old man off the bridge, and he passed away. And yeah, that was a rough one for our family. That was a rough one for the families of those two men. And my daddy went to prison for that, but that's when he quit drinking. That was his bottom. And so that's part of my story too, because I remember when they said he was going to go away for a long time, and I was crying, and I was like, dear God, no, because I didn't understand what had happened. But my daddy's attorney told him to tell them he hadn't been drinking that night, and the accident wouldn't be anybody's fault then, because he had come up on it and he was the last car involved in the accident. And he thought my dad would get off if he just told him he wasn't drinking. And Daddy said, Mija, sometimes you got to bite the bullet. You got to be honest, and you got to tell him. I mean, it killed him emotionally. It fucked him up. I mean, it should. It should. What he did was very, very bad and wrong. And it'd fuck any of us up, if we have a heart. So no, he went and he was honest, and he said he'd had a few beers that night. And this might piss a few people off, but they threw the book at him. And like I said, this was before Mothers Against Drunk Drivers came along. So the laws were not as strenuous as they are now. And my dad got a total time to be served was 2 counts to be served consecutively of 18 months each. And I think he was out in just over a year for good behavior. Yeah. And actually he was work furloughed for like 6 months before he came home. My mom, she served him with divorce papers when he was in prison and told him she didn't want anything to do with him. And if he wanted to see us kids, she didn't want 1 more ounce of alcohol on his breath. He could see us as long as he was sober. And he never drank again. The man never went to AA. He never had a program. He just quit. And I got to tell you, I couldn't do that. I could not function when I quit dope. I couldn't. I wasn't as strong as Daddy. I was really fucked up when I quit dope. And, but yeah, that's my daddy's story. He's been dead almost 20 years now. He died in 2004. He's been gone 21 years now. 22. He's been gone 22 years. Damn, I got clean in 2005. I just celebrated 21 years clean. My dad's been gone that long. Wow. Daddy never got to see me clean. miss that man. He was so much fun to be around. He took me everywhere. We drove everywhere. We hung out. We were best friends, man. Best friends. But that didn't matter, because when he died, he still hadn't said, "I love you" to me. You know, and he hadn't said that in so long. In so long. It had been so long since he had said that to me. And I thought it meant he didn't love me. He said it to my brothers and sisters all the time, but he didn't say it to me, you know. And when he died, a part of me died. I couldn't function. I just wanted to die. That's when I stuck a needle in my arm. And I tried to die the last year of my using. It was straight to the bottom. There was no downhill slope. Oh, Lord, no. And I just wanted to die high. That's what I wanted. I wanted to stay high till I died. And what happened for me was the guy that shot me up left. He just left me one day. We were at this house that we didn't belong in, and we'd gotten high one last time, and he said he was going to go get us a vehicle. He was going to go borrow a friend's car, and he walked out the door, and he never came back. And I couldn't get high anymore because I could never shoot myself up. I could never hit my own veins. And I've had other people try, and they couldn't hit my veins either. My boyfriend was the only one who could do it. So there I was, this addict, strung out on shooting dope, IV drug user, and I couldn't get high anymore. It wasn't that I didn't want to. You've got to understand this. It was that I couldn't get high anymore. So I went home. I had some outstanding court cases, so I got an attorney. And I went to court. And they were non-violent offenses. They were for petty theft and unlawful use of a financial card and several warrants from like driving on a suspended. But I didn't have a license, so it wasn't a suspended. It was a driving without a license is what it should have been. And I kept dinging them for that. I'm like, I didn't have a license. It wasn't suspended. But me and my boyfriend had broke into my sister's house when she wasn't home, and we'd stolen her credit cards. And we got busted with the credit cards. And so my mom told my sister to press charges. And so they had pressed charges on me to try to get me to clean up. And honestly, that didn't work. You know what I mean? What really got me was when I was in jail, and I was dope sick, because I was sober, but I was so dope sick. And about a week before, my daughter told me to go. I said, we're moving out. Let's go. And I was mad at my mom and my dad. Or no, it was my mom and my sister because my dad was dead. And I'm packing shit up. And I'm like, get your stuff. Let's go. She goes, no, Mom, I'm not going with you. If you have to go, go be with Mike. But I'm not going. And this horrible person that I am, I said the most horrible things to her. I said the things to her that my mom said to me when I wanted to be emancipated. I called her ungrateful, the B word, and I hate myself for saying these things and going through this, but this is what happened and it's real. And when I was sitting in jail a week and a half later, and my sister and my mom we had gotten arrested because we were at the Walmart trying to use my sister's card, and I didn't know her PIN number, and we got busted with it. And that's okay. I needed to go to jail. It was bad. And I was sitting in there for days, drying out and crying, and I was a mess, and I couldn't function. But I remember I woke up one day and I realized that my daughter had told me to leave and that she didn't want to come with me. And it was always me and my daughter. It was always the two of us. We were a pair. And she was mad at me and she didn't want to come with me. And I remember, they say those foxhole prayers in jail, when God, get me out of this. No, it was God, give me my daughter back. I need to get my daughter back. I got to do whatever I can to get my daughter back. So when they OR'd me, I tucked tail and went home, and I got an attorney for those charges. And it just so happened I never got high again. And it was because I couldn't. And I remember I was in the bathroom crying and throwing a fit one day and beating my fists against the wall till they were bloody. And my mom and my daughter were on the other side of the bathroom door, sitting in the bedroom, and they couldn't do anything to help me. And I was so upset because I couldn't get high and I couldn't function. And I couldn't even hold a job down, And I remember I got mad at my nephew one night. He called me a fucking bitch. And I threw a chair across the room at him, a dining room chair at him. And my sister's holding me back, and I'm like, I'm going to kill him, and da-da-da-da-da. And it was bad. It was bad. And I left. And I went walking the streets that night. Didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I was a failure, and I couldn't let my daughter see me like that. And I knew my mom was so disappointed in me. And I didn't know what to do, but I knew that at the hospital, at the 4th floor of the hospital, is where they have babies, and they always have coffee made there. So I went there, because there was coffee. And I sat there all night. And then I called my mom in the morning. And she says, baby, let me at least bring you a sandwich. And I said, no, Mommy, I stole all your money. Why do you want to help me? She said, because you stopped doing that. She said, don't you know how proud of you I am? And I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve her love. She said, just come home. I want you to come home, baby. So I did. God, I'm crying and I'm trying to look beautiful. This isn't working. But She did. She talked me down. I don't know what I would have done, but I went home, and then I got a job at this movie theater that had this concept restaurant. That it was a new concept where you go to the theater and they feed you while you're watching a movie. And so I went to this restaurant and I worked in this kitchen, and I remember being so angry at the expo guy. I remember being so angry because these people weren't working the way I wanted them to work. I don't know. I was just pissed off, and I know I had court coming up, and one of the guys goes, "Hey, if you go to treatment, they'll go easier on you at court." I was like, "All right, bet." So I went down to the courthouse, and they had a list of all these treatment facilities, and I didn't know what or who to ask for or anything because I didn't know what treatment was. But let me prep this here. But there was one called Ask. I'm like, okay, I'll ask. So it was ASK, and I don't remember what it stood for, but I went there, and my intake counselor was like asking me all these questions, and I was just being honest, because I hadn't tried this before, and it was something new. And he goes, "Do you still hear voices?" And I was like, "Well, no, not since I have been sober. I haven't heard voices, only just when I was high." He goes, "That's really good. That's really good." And yeah, we went through it, and I was honest, and he was like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And I'm like, "So how much is treatment?" He said, "Oh, it's about 125 a session." I said, "Okay, well, I can probably go like once a week." He goes, "Oh no, you're sick. Sick." I was like, "The fuck you talking about? I've been clean for like a long," because I went to treatment in like March, and I had stopped using on January 8th. So it had been like 3 months. What is he talking about? He goes, "You're this close to using." You know what? I was so mad at him. I was like, "Well, fuck you. I ain't going to get high. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you to say I'm going to get high? I'm not getting high." Da, da, da. I was so mad at him for saying that I was going to get high, and it was funny. And he goes, "You need to go like 4 times a week. You got to have a group. Da, 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 da." I was like, "Well, I can't afford that." He goes, "Oh, no, 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 no. You're Hispanic, and you live in this part of town, which qualifies you for this grant and these other grants." And so it was paid for. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I was just going to pay cash because I didn't have insurance or anything. And so I went to treatment, and I remember having the group sessions were really weird because there'd be like 20 people in there. And I was the only one with a drug problem. Nobody else had a problem. Oh, yeah. MIP, minor in possession of marijuana. But he didn't have a problem, and someone with got busted, got drunk driving, but they didn't have a problem, and, all of them were there for a drug charge. They all copped a charge. But I didn't cop a charge. I went on my own, and so then when it was my turn to introduce I'm Susie, and I want to get high, and I can't get high anymore. And I was crying all the time. And after a while, the people there were like, "Susie, but you're clean now. You're doing good. You can do this. You can stay clean." And it was funny because they had told me to go to a 12-step program. And I go, "What's that?" And they go, "Well, it's a place where addicts go that are clean. And they help each other." Because I thought, is it more counselors? Oh, no, no, it's addicts, and they help each other stay clean. I was like, "You got me fucked up." Trust an addict? Mm-mm. Stop. You're being stupid. That's funny. Last time I went to jail, all they left was the rats and the roaches. Man, they robbed me blind. No, you can't trust an addict. Man, they will rob you. I tell you what, I went, and the first couple times I heard something, and I liked what I heard. But the main thing was, the first couple times I went, I thought my counselor had called them and told them that I was coming to the meeting because it was all about me. Every single person in there was sharing my story. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I had my little notebook and I was taking notes and quietly saying, thank you so and so for sharing that, but I would just put it in my notebook. And yeah, that looks good. And let's see if I can do this again. Then that night, I got mad at my nephew. My mom said, go to a meeting, go to a meeting. It was a Friday night. It was an 8 o'clock meeting. And it was only 7 o'clock. But I went down there with my notebook. I sat right next to the desk of the chair where the person chairs the meeting, because that's where they had done it the first couple of times I'd gone. And I was sitting there tapping my leg as fast as I could because I was like, they are going to fix me. I'm going to share, because they always say the newcomer is the most important person at any meeting. And I was the newcomer. And they were going to fix me. These don't match. Well, they kind of do. And I sat there and I waited and I waited and I waited, and 8 o'clock rolled around. This was back when they still had smoking in the meetings, and they had a smoking room there, and everybody was coming in and going to the smoking room because everybody smoked, but I didn't smoke. So I was sitting out in the meeting room waiting for the meeting, and without hesitation, 8 o'clock rolls around and someone says, let's open this meeting with a moment of silence for the still suffering addict. They were opening the meeting without me in there. They were starting the meeting in the smoking room and they forgot me. And at that time, I was like, I'm the most important person here. God damn it. Boy, I tell you what, I left that meeting hall, stormed out of there, and I went to another group that following Sunday. And I tell you what, my higher power was right there waiting for me. Sure was. Because I had questions. And the meeting leader had answers. Because it was a candlelight meeting. It was a Sunday night candlelight meeting. And when I got there was just me and the meeting leader. And so he opened the meeting up and we got to talking. And I asked him, what is this? So he told me what it was. And he said, how it works. And I asked him, well, how does it work? And he says, well, you get a sponsor and you work these steps. I said, what's a sponsor? Someone who helps you work the steps. Women sponsor women, men sponsor men. Really? Yeah. And then he proceeded to say, on Monday night, so-and-so is here. They've got so many years clean. They'd be a great sponsor. On Tuesday night, so-and-so's here leading the meeting. They got so many years clean. They'd be a good sponsor. And he proceeded to tell me all these women that were there that could sponsor me and help me do this thing that I was trying to do, which was live my life without using drugs, because I had no idea what to do. None. I can't believe we went into my story of addiction and how I got clean. But sure enough, it worked. It worked. And when I tell you I am a different person today than I was 20 years ago, I'm happy. I am clean. I'm a responsible, productive member of society. That's the truth. And I am so grateful today. I'm so grateful for where I'm at. I went with this lip liner because it's purple, but I'm going to go with a bold lip because why not? But yeah, it's a bit of my story and where I came from. 21 years drug-free from being an IV drug user to a mother who's got 2 little girls who have never known her high. They never knew me high because I was clean when I had them. I only quit one time, and I'm one of the lucky ones that it worked. But anyways, I'm almost done with my look. I've got my brows on. They're kind of bold today, but that's okay because I was kind of bold today and told you a bit of my story, which is crazy. Crazy. I was crazy. I was out there doing some wild shit, man. Some wild shit. Wild. Stuff I don't think I can repeat because I might go to jail. God, I love this color. I need to get more lip colors. But Saturday, I'll do a little haul video and get ready with me, and I'll show you all my supplies that I just restocked on and how low of a price they are on Amazon right now. And they're totally worth getting. I love a good matte lip. I really do. Because it doesn't transfer. Where like when I've got the lippy with the gloss, all it does is wear off. Can't eat or drink anything because it'll just come right off. But a good matte. What do you think? It's a little bold, but it's pretty. I like it. All right, as promised, I'm going to get into the Milani. I'm going to go in with this one here. I'm going to clean off this desk. I need to organize. I need to organize my palettes. Thank you guys for joining me today. This has been very therapeutic. Thank you for letting me share. I really appreciate it. And those of you that stayed. And I was a little graphic, and oh my God, my eyes look so pretty. I love it. I love it. Get some mascara on. I love indie makeup. Oh yeah, that looks great. Yeah, I try not to keep my mascaras more than 3 months. I only use one mascara while I'm using mascara. So like, if it's this bottle that's open, I use this bottle for 3 months. I don't switch out mascaras because they're only good for 3 months because of the contamination and the germs and stuff. So yeah, if I get a different bottle mascara, that's the bottle I use, unless it's bad, you know, unless it flakes on me. And oh, you know what? I was going to get that Colossal. Maybe I should order that now, see if it'll come in on Saturday. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a little more shopping. Why not? Ooh, Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I probably should have done this sooner, but get that shine off because that's going to get oily. And I know it's supposed to look luminous, but I have to powder because it will get oily on me. All right, that's it for my look today, y'all. Thanks for listening to me share my story and talk about makeup. And yeah, it's been a long one, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.